just got even more concerning information on that meeting that took place on Friday where Donald Trump screamed and cursed at Zelensky to take the Russian deal. And the information we're getting now is that Steve Witkoff, the envoy for peace negotiations with Russia, was not only speaking Russian talking points, but was trying to tell Zelensky, well, you do know that inside those territories that Russia took, they had referendums. And the people there, voted to be a part of Russia. That is beyond Russian propaganda and not true at all. Now imagine saying that to Zelensky's face as Zelensky is asking for help. Not only is Donald Trump screaming and cursing at Zelensky, saying, just stop it, take the deal, stop it. You have Witkoff trying to convince Zelensky that a legitimate referendum took place inside of Ukraine to separate themselves from Ukraine. If you don't know what he's talking about, Russia had a sham referendum inside the territories that they occupied at gunpoint to people so that they would vote in favor of Russia. Russia also bussed in Russians to vote in said things. Remember that when Russia invaded, people fled. And the people who stayed were then once again at gunpoint told, you're voting for this. In almost every country, they said that this was a fake election. United Nations, the EU, the United States, every democratic government said this was fake. You can't go in a gunpoint and have people vote. Also remember, there was no independent oversight. Just like how Putin does his elections and Belarus. There's no oversight. They just say the election is the election, here's the results. So yeah, those elections were fake. And then Witkoff went on to argue, well, Russia, they had already changed their constitution to include parts of Ukraine. And Zelensky kind of let him have it, saying first there was an occupation. Only then did something uncontrolled and obviously illegal happen, what they called referendums. Adding, if tomorrow Putin adds something to its constitution, should we again withdraw some territory? This is a non-working model. But then Zelensky did say something that I do find interesting, which he says, we understand that Mr. Witkoff is simply conveying what Russia means. That doesn't mean it's its opinion. At least that's what he says. Which he's saying that it's just Witkoff just repeating what Russia says. But here's the issue we run into. Even if Witkoff is saying that he's only passing around Russian ideas, those ideas are still being brought into the conversation with Donald Trump. And we know with Donald Trump, if you say something, he tends to kind of stick to it. So if the people around him are saying Russian talking points, it means that Donald Trump will be saying Russian talking points.